Welcome to Cat and Mouse Astrology. New moon at 2 degrees of Scorpio, partial solar eclipse. Woohoo! Here we have a new moon in Scorpio at the end of 2022. And this one is a prelude because we've got another eclipse coming up in just a couple of weeks. So let's take a look at what this new moon eclipse means. So this new moon in Scorpio is conjunct Venus and may ask us for a sacrifice. The sun and moon conjunct Venus in Scorpio illuminates and reflects our deepest desires. So the new moon is our emotions, it's reflective, it's receptive, and it's conjunct Venus, the beauty that we love, the desire, those things that we want, what we value, those things that we relate to, our relationships. And we may have to think about, again, a sacrifice here as we consider this new moon close to the south node, which means letting go, and in a trine with Mars, which may mean a cutting off of something. So although it's conjunct Venus, it may be reflecting to us that something that we love may lead to something bigger if we're able to make a sacrifice. Can we give up something we desire? Can you give up something you desire in order to realize something deeper, perhaps a longer term goal, something you might appreciate even more? So this new moon eclipse represents perhaps a feeling or a need for a deep connection, a desire. However, that desire may be obscured or temporarily dimmed or even cut off. This feeling or need for a deep connection may be eclipsed by the sun. So here's our chart for this new moon. There's a kitty cat, meow, kitty cat. Here's the eclipse. We know it's an eclipse because the new moon is near the south node in this case. This is you, the red ball, da, 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 this is you, because you're at the center of it all, of course. And all of these things are impacting you. And again, it's good to know where your ascendant is, where your descendant is. Where is Scorpio for you? Which house? First, second, third? Because that will help you make interpretations about your own chart and your own life here. So there are some easy aspects here. That's what the blue lines represent, the ease in the chart, trines and sextiles. The red represents squares and oppositions, which may be more difficult. However, when the positive aspect is between Mars, Pluto, or Saturn, or Mars, then the ease that's happening may not be an ease that we actually want. The ease between Pluto and Neptune may lead to some, imaginary stuff being dredged up that we don't really want to have in our imaginations, that doesn't feel very spiritual or good. And the configuration, the positive line, the aspect between Mars and the new moon may give some energy towards what we need to let go of, and we may not really want to let it go. So there's a bit of an ugly ease here. And keep in mind, we've been dealing with Mars for a while. We've had Mars in Libra, but now Mars has moved into Scorpio. And the new moon in Scorpio, which is Mars's sign, is conjunct the sun. And also Venus is reflecting our deepest desires. Being in Mars's sign, it makes those deep scorpionic desires that may have been hidden, desires that sometimes we don't want to talk about or have known. And Mars, which squared Neptune on October the 12th, and will again square Neptune as it goes retrograde on November the 19th, will finally square Neptune on March 14th of 2023 when it's direct. But this Mars square Neptune is a lingering aspect that you may be feeling as Mars, the planet of energy, the planet of action, sometimes the planet of passions, sometimes passions that have overflowed, as it goes retrograde and then connects again with Neptune, that planet of dreams and sometimes deception, that planet of spirituality and sometimes confusion. So something to avoid is gossip, and keep the faith, keep the faith. Keep in mind that these aspects passed. Discouragement may pass, but also that sense of bravery you have may pass too. So avoid gossip, have faith, and be aware of possible opportunities for your bravery to turn into something of real value to others. Now be aware of the squares here. Uranus has been square Saturn for a couple of years now, and they were both at 18 degrees between October 1st and October 11th. And they're still within 2 degrees of each other, very much conjunct on election day, US election day on November the 8th. So Uranus, surprise, explosion, rebellion, also technology, also inventiveness, progressiveness, newness. Uranus allows us to break free. But sometimes what we're breaking free of is something maybe that needs to be constrained. That's what Saturn would say. Saturn is restraining, constrictive. It's the authority. It's the authority that says, hold back. It's the structure that sometimes we really need, that we don't want to lose. And slowing down is maybe the best advice that Saturn can give us right now, while at the same time, Uranus is saying us to break free. Slow down while you're breaking free. Though typically Uranus happens in a very sudden, radical way. We've been dealing with these changes. Again, this has been going on for a while. We've seen these changes in technology, changes to the structure of how we produce and distribute food, and changes in how people perceive things, even rebellions, people rebelling. We've got the Ukraine conflict war right now with what's going on, with Russia, and this is something that certainly has impacted many millions of people. The Sabian symbol for 17 degrees of Taurus, where Uranus sits, where the changes are, is a battle between swords and torches. So this conflict that's going on both externally in the larger world and within our own lives, wherever Uranus and Saturn sit in your chart, may be symbolically a battle between swords, those things that are sharp and cut, and torches, those things that burn and ignite. The Sabian symbol for 18 Aquarius, where Saturn sits, where you may want to hold back or hold on to things in your life. A man's secret motives are being publicly unmasked. And again, we've seen this for quite a while, as Saturn has been on the 18th degree of Aquarius for quite some time. And we may have seen a lot of unmasking going on, again, both in the outer public world and in our own private lives. So if you look below in the information about this YouTube video, you'll see information about Mars and its tour through Gemini in the houses. So if you know where Mars is in your chart, if you know it's the first, second, or third house, for example, then you can look that up below and get a little bit more information about Mars in Gemini in the houses. But something to keep in mind, that Mars's journey, again, has just begun, and it will not end until 2023, March 25th, 2023. And Mars is just now stationing to go retrograde. So all those things you've been working on or doing, those things you've wanted to complete, they're going to take a redo, a rework, maybe even a reaction. So beware of reactiveness, as well as being aware of these squares. One of the squares is with Mars and this eclipse, and align with the trines. Got some beautiful trines going on. We just had Mercury trine Saturn, which is a way to structure communication. And coming up tomorrow on October the 26th, Mercury trine Mars, energy towards that communication. So what you've structured, you can now put into action. Well, thank you for joining Cat and Mouse Astrology, and we hope this information helps. Please give us your feedback. We love to hear from you, and have a great astro ride, and we'll see you next moon.